Welcome to another episode of Our Town, where we explore local small businesses and nonprofit organizations here in our community. Today, we sat down with Amber Doggs, CEO and founder of Grow It Forward, to learn about their place along the lakeshore. This is Our Town, featuring Grow It Forward and Harmony Cafe and Juicery.
My name is Amber Doggs, and I'm the CEO and founder of Grow It Forward Inc. So we started as a nonprofit organization in 2014. Our very first project as an organization was to build the community garden on South 14th Street. And our mission all along has been to increase access to healthy local food and building community. The mission statement has kind of changed over the years as we've adopted some new programs and services, but our central theme is always to increase healthy access to good local food. As a part of increasing access to healthy local food, there is a variety of activities in the local food supply chain. Of course, it starts with the growth of local food, but what do we do with it after that point? We host several farmers as a part of a winter farmers market, but we also feature many local products and producers in our coolers and in our products as well. So Harmony Cafe is actually a name that is a tip of a hat to a program from a former nonprofit cafe in Green Bay. And they were a central location that built community around the thing that connects us all, which is food. It's the common denominator. 27 years ago, I was homeless and going to a food pantry for the first time. For me, that experience was less than dignified. The very last table that I went to at this pantry had a swollen bag of lettuce, an orange that had mold on it, and an apple that was heavily bruised, and there was a fruit fly. Where I was staying at the time did not have the capability of cooking food, so we were very limited on the quality foods that we could receive. For me, dignified access is about meeting people where they're at without judgment, and also working to increase that access for all people in our community, not just those who can afford it. You know, the food access is a multidimensional approach. So, for example, we know that for every 5 farmers that are retiring throughout the country, only 1 is entering into the industry of farming. That's deeply concerning because we know that there are less farmers that are operating small, sustainable local farms. We also know that our food is more managed by larger agricultural entities. Certainly, there are different challenges when large farming operations are controlling our food system. Also, in terms of having local food access, things like policies related to our food system impact all consumers of food. All of this is related to the local food supply chain, starting with the growth of food and moving all the way through processing and then also recovery. What do we do with our food items that do not make it onto plates for people to consume? 40% of all food produced in America is gone to waste. There are many different avenues that one can choose to address food policies, perhaps, or working in food advocacy, whether that be identifying the needs of those who are going through food scarcity, or perhaps standing up for equal access to funding for those small independent farmers. Food advocacy is definitely a broad lens. This is a very difficult question to answer. So all nonprofits right now certainly are concerned about funding. One of the efforts that Grow It Forward instilled really from the beginning was that we were going to find ways to generate income within our mission, within the realm of our organization's purpose, in order to sustain our missions. We are not fully reliant on grants or individual contributions where there are concerns about the future and the sustainability of nonprofits. You know, there's a lot of concern about making sure that we have the resources necessary to continue to sustain our mission, but always looking at ways to improve our activities as well. And one of the ways that we are modernizing our work at Grow It Forward is that we're taking a lot of our food pantry activities to online. We saw this at the beginning of the pandemic in particular with a lot of grocery stores and restaurants, going into online ordering. Well, we want to see that same capability in our pantry as well, and also modernizing our cafe and to do those same things too. Oh goodness, there are so many different success stories. I mean, certainly first and foremost, for my own personal life, it's hard to believe that our organization has just passed the 10-year threshold. Certainly we haven't been, challenge free as an organization over the 10 years, but to be able to have employees in our organization, paid employees. Some other success stories have come from folks who used to volunteer with our organization or had received pantry services. One in particular had been living in their car at the start of the pandemic, and they were fortunate enough to be a participant of another nonprofit's program called Drug Court. So they were able to go through the process of lifting themselves up, and eventually they actually became an employee of our organizations. To watch people go from being kind of down and out and needing our services and really struggling to finally being able to get a car and to pay off debt and to have goals on things like going to college, or one of them in particular that I'm thinking of would love to have my job someday. So that's incredibly empowering as well. So our community as a whole are our best allies in food access work. Just being aware of our mission and sharing that with your friends and family and your neighbors. If you know someone in need, there are no judgments when you come to Grow It Forward for support. In fact, often we receive referrals from schools or other human service agencies. We have a free community meal every Monday. We serve that in a drive-through model at our headquarters at 15th and Marshall Street. So if you know that you have an next door neighbor or family member who might be struggling, you're welcome to come on by and pick up that meal and bring that directly to them. You know your neighbors better than perhaps we do, and that is the power of community. Other ways that individuals can partner with us in our work: follow us on social media, share our posts, participate in our organization's fundraisers. You can donate food to our mission. You can also help uplift other organizations who are also working in anti-hunger activities throughout our community. There are other food pantries. We need at least 6 to 8 food pantries in Manitowoc County in order to have full access to food resources. There are a lot of ways to be engaged in the work, whether that be serving on our board of directors, volunteering directly within our mission, participating in advocacy work and policy work, contacting our local representatives and sharing with them why our work is important and why they need to support our cause. Alone, we cannot do much. We need our community. So at Harmony Cafe, we feature a lot of different local farmers or producers. Our coffee is roasted from Boom Coffee. They're a Wisconsin roaster. Rishi Tea, which is out of Milwaukee. Leon's Cheese is probably a success point for us. It's kind of interesting. In the early days of Leon's Cheese, we started ordering a lot for our catering, which we also provide as a service through Grow It Forward. There were times when he didn't have enough available for us for some of our jobs, so it's been fun to watch their business also grow through the utilization of their products. We have meat from Misfit Farms. We work with Kokana meats for some of our luncheon meats that we use for sandwiches and wraps. We work with local food distributors as well. So for example, Performance Foods, they're a food distributor located out of Shawanoe County. We're really mindful about how we incorporate different food products into our cafe. And really what that means is that it allows us to strengthen our local food economy. It allows us to build on community, because ultimately it's about that partnership, about collaboration. It's fostering that sense of community that's really important to the furthering of our mission at Grow It Forward. Without us having that emphasis of local food, we'd be missing, I think, a key ingredient to increasing food access for all in Manitowoc County. An individual can be food insecure and not be in poverty. Food insecurity is not necessarily indicative of what you bring into your household for income. It means lacking access to enough healthy food in order to live an active and healthy life. You might be experiencing a great amount of medical debt, but your paycheck might say that you don't qualify for food pantry resources. Certainly that can be a struggle. That doesn't mean that there are no resources for individuals who perhaps on paper have enough income, but they struggle still with that healthy food access. Things like farmers markets are incredibly important to that aspect. We have a beautiful summer farmers market with wonderful and affordable produce that goes directly into helping those local farmers. There shouldn't be ever a barrier about breaking bread with our neighbors. And I think things like community gardens and farmers markets and community cafes are an incredible community building aspect. It allows the opportunity for you to get to know us, to know your neighbors better. One thing that I really appreciate, and I just want to reiterate, even with things like local radio, it's incredibly important because our stories are elevated and we're losing those outlets day over day. We have to do our work in a different way, communicate it in a lot of different ways. Social media is a big platform, certainly, to tackle and understand how we elevate our voices there. It's important for us to have these partnerships, these relationships, and having an avenue to share our good work. So I'm incredibly grateful for those partnerships and the importance of our mission.
Thanks for watching Our Town featuring Grow It Forward and Harmony Cafe. We had a great time touring Harmony Cafe and Juicery while learning more about how their partnership with Grow It Forward helps increase dignified access to food for everyone in our community. If you want more information on their weekly free meal drive-thru, Harmony Cafe and Juicery's menu or business hours, or their upcoming fundraising events, visit grow-it-forward.org.